Hi there, welcome to the Wardenberg Family Farm. I'm Brenda, my husband Don's behind the camera. Our apples are coming in, so today I'm making apple pie jam. Well, it's apple season. We've been picking apples. I'd say, 4 or 5 of our trees have been ripe and we've picked them with some help. We had some cute little helpers helping pick apples. Of course, they like to eat them as much as they like to pick them. But the one tree in the backyard is not part of our orchard. It was in the backyard when we bought the farmhouse. We don't know what kind of apple it is. Anybody know what that might be? A very tart, delicious apple that comes ripe middle of September?
They vary from being kind of yellow with the stripe like that to being a red and a darker red. The ones that are on the outside, they get the most sun.
It's an old apple tree, so we don't know what it is, but it's one of my favorites because it's tart. I like tart apples.
It's a full-size apple tree, where in our orchard,
they're
dwarf trees.
So we have a lot more apples coming, and some of them we would turn into cider, which they would have to store for a while. What I'm making right now, I'm using ones that have bruises, blemishes, spots, that they're not going to store very long. So I'm trying to use them up before they go bad. So far I made a bunch of applesauce. I freeze-dried some slices for the grandkids. They love freeze-dried apples. And I made one batch of apple pie jam and happened to mention it in a video. And one of the viewers asked if I'd do a video about it. Well, I sold out at the farm stand, so I have to make some more. So I'm going to go ahead and video it. It is a very good jam. I think the very first year at the farm, we made caramel apple pie jam. That was too sweet. That was just, this one is really good.
Well, you like tart apples.
I do. But this recipe actually calls for tart apples. Use something like Granny Smith or a tartar apple. So, right down my alley. But till it's made into jam, it's not tart. You just taste the good apple flavor. But we actually tried some of the first batch, and it was delicious on a cinnamon raisin bagel. With the apple pie jam, that was a good combination. So I'm already looking forward to that again.
So we've picked probably, 4 or 5 other varieties already?
I think so, yeah. The Gala were the first ones that were ready.
Yeah, and they're sweet.
Yes. And then Macintosh. We didn't have that many Macintosh, though. And Johnastar. We just picked the other day. Johnastar and then whatever this is. But we have a bunch more that aren't going to be ripe for another couple weeks yet.
Granny Smith. Fuji,
which is his favorite.
And Stamen.
Yeah. I like those. They're really tart.
Yeah.
But we are looking forward to making cider. But cider is best if you can put a bunch of different kind of apples together.
Yeah.
So the ones that will last of this, I kept boxes of the ones that don't have any blemishes that should last for a couple weeks. So they're already separated. But meanwhile, I have a bunch of blemished apples to do stuff with.
So what are you doing? Just chopping them?
I'm just chopping them and dicing them into, not tiny pieces, but decent sized pieces. I will want chunks of apple when I'm done. And this is a jam. At a certain point, you can puree it and get as few hunks as you want. I like chunky jam. I love the pieces of apple. So this is good for me.
So you can do this with any apple that you like, right?
Yep.
And you can mix them.
Oh yeah, you could. Any kind of anything. When you mix them, the only thing is some will get softer quicker than others, which might be good because then some of the apples are all softened up. Some stay harder. We're more intact, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is a really good jam. We've been having all kinds of good jams. I like this time of year. It's time to start, processing the food into something and preserving it.
So what's your processing plan there? I noticed you did this one old school. You cut it all.
Yes.
Are you going to use any fancy tools?
No, I have an apple core peeler slicer. I will use this, maybe, for some of them. It does 10 slices, which is a nice small size, but maybe not quite as small. I'll do some, see how it turns out. But I have the handy dandy crank thing. But 2 things. If the apple isn't really hard, it seems to just chaw up the apple. And if the apples are a regular shape, by the way, this is lemon water. I'm putting them in lemon water so they don't turn brown while I'm peeling the rest of them. But look at these apples. I mean, they're so odd shaped that the peel a quarter slicer would miss most of the peels. So it's just as easy to do it myself.
Well, maybe somebody out there has, because yours is a pretty simple
Yeah.
other tool. Maybe somebody out there has a,
I mean, if you have one that would work on really weird shaped apples,
yeah.
let me know.
And even on a beautifully shaped apple, yours works so-so.
Yeah, it's never been really good.
Yeah.
It doesn't get all the peel, it just, and like I say, if the apple isn't hard enough, it just completely mutilates the apple. So maybe I need a better one, but this isn't that bad, you know? It'll take a while, but every once in a while you eat a slice of apple. Keeps it going really well.
I can't help but notice over here when you have your new stove in, but that contractor you hired didn't finish his job yet, did he?
No. We finally got a convection or induction stove. We've talked about this for a long time. I've been using the portable ones to can on, and by using them and seeing how fast they work, I fell in love with induction. So we got the stove, took the microwave out of here, which was horrible for canning. You can't fit things under there. But yes, my contractor,
Yeah.
handsome contractor, is going to build me a hood with a fan in it that will start about here. So I have plenty of room for my canning things. And also then a shelf over there for me to put my new countertop microwave in, a smaller microwave.
You know, when you negotiate those, you can put an early completion clause in there for bonus, and that might be an incentive to get the project done on time.
You think? Well, I think he'll do it in pretty good time. We'll see.
Oh, here
Maybe
we
he'll get
go.
it.
Don't want to miss the action. Oh, there you go.
They work fairly well,
Yeah.
and I guess they're an okay size slice. But sometimes they're pretty hard to use. But see, any of these that have marks, imperfections, that'll go in the compost pile. The rest, whoop, the whole thing's gone on that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a perfect way to get rid of not so good apples. And
Yep.
applesauce is another way. Now, I love making applesauce because I don't have to peel, core, slice, anything. I just quarter them, cook them, and put them through the Johnny applesauce maker that takes out the seeds and the skins. That is so wonderful and so easy.
So back to that contractor, I have it from a good source that he ordered the fan and the hood that goes behind it. He just has to work on the external, but he can't
Okay.
start that until the other equipment comes in. So
Yeah,
you just better keep your eye on him, though.
I'll keep my eye on him.
All right.
Yeah, he's done a couple projects for me before, and he's pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, I have a certain hood in mind, how I want it to look. We'll see if he can pull that off. He usually does. He's pretty good. He comes up with all kinds of ideas. But I'll be anxious to have the kitchen back together again.
So this is going to be a lot of processing here.
It's just going to be a lot of peeling, coring, slicing, dicing. And so I think I'll have to check the recipe. I think I need 12 cups. And I will put the recipe in the description below the video. So, and I'm making a double batch. I'm not going to run out right away this time. I'm going to have extra on hand.
So do we get to taste it at the end?
Oh yes, 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 yes. And I'll be tasting mine on a cinnamon raisin bagel. That was so good. So yeah, now this is the boring part, just lots and lots of peeling and dicing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll come back when it gets to be the exciting part.
That sounds good. I got my 12 cups of diced apples, and I put it into 4 cups of cider, our cider that we made last year. But we only have 1 quart left down there, so we need to make cider soon. Now I have to add 4 tablespoons of lemon juice to this, and then get it up to a boil, and just let it simmer and cook for 10 minutes. So I need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bring to a boil over medium-high heat.
Now with your new stove, do you know what medium-high is?
Well, I'm still learning, you know?
Yeah.
I know that high is high.
Yeah, the whole way up. Yeah.
It gets things boiling in no time flat. So, but this will probably happen pretty quick.
Okay.
But it's mainly to get the apples a little bit soft. But then I have the decision of, do I puree some of them with my little handheld thing, or do I let it all chunky? Well, I might have learned a lesson with my strawberry lemon marmalade. I had too many chunks, not enough pureed stuff, and it didn't seem to be right. It separated. So I might puree it just a little bit, but I want pieces of apple. So now I just have to wait for the pot to boil and let it do it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So again, we're not making apple pie filling. You're making apple pie jam. So the consistency is going to be a little different than filling.
Oh yeah.
And so I would think I would puree some.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Where pie filling, no, or not much.
Well, after 10 minutes, the apples will get pretty mushy and soft, so it'll be pretty easy to puree up. And I forget if I mentioned earlier, this is actually, the recipe is called Grandma's apple pie jam. But my grandkids call me Meemaw, so maybe I should call it Meemaw's apple pie jam.
There you go.
We'll see. Whatever it's called, it's good. So just wait for a pot to boil. It's been simmering for 10 minutes, and look, the apples are getting nice and soft and mushy. I think I'll blend it just a couple of times. But it looks yummy. Let me give it a couple quick shots here. There. Still gotta have chunks. Gotta have chunks. So now that it's simmered for 10 minutes, it's time to add the pectin and the spices. And there's actually cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves in here, and some salt. So here comes the pectin. Stir that in. And all the spices are mixed up already. So stir this all in, bring it back to a boil. Boil for 1 minute, and then it'll be time to add the sugar. See, now it's getting yummy. Look at that. Yeah, oh, it smells good. Oh my gosh, with the spices in there. Do you smell that? Mm-hmm. Mmm. Okay, we'll get this to a boil and let it boil for 1 minute.
It looks thicker. Is that just my imagination?
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, between the pureeing some of the apples, I don't know if the pectin would start thickening it now. Usually pectin doesn't work till you add the sugar. But
I think it might be just the pureeing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is it boiling again? Almost. As soon as it comes back to a rolling boil, start timing for 1 minute.
Well, there it is, boiling already.
Okay, so 1 minute. Boiled for 1 minute, time to add the sugar. And this recipe doesn't have a ton of sugar. It's 4 cups for a double batch. Just didn't get it all. There we go. So stir that in. Get that back to a boil. Boil it hard for 1 minute. And it should be time to jar it. I'm going to do the plate test and see if it does set on a plate, on a frozen plate, just to be sure. But first, get it back to a rolling boil with the sugar on it. Oh, does that look good? See, now it looks like jam. You know, it's starting to get that shiny look to it. And this is when it can burn, so it says to stir it constantly so it doesn't burn with the sugar. Get it back to a boil. Boil for 1 minute again.
I can smell it all the way over here.
It's good.
Really good.
The house is going to smell amazing.
Yeah.
I made salsa yesterday, so the house smelled like salsa.
Well, I'm a big cinnamon fan.
Yeah.
And yum.
Yeah. Yum.
I think apple is the very best thing for cinnamon. I don't know. What else is really good with cinnamon? I mean, of course, with all the sweets and pastries and stuff, but what other fruit would you put?
Apple's probably our best. When you love apple crisp with a bit of cinnamon in it. So that's your thing. We actually just finished. No, there's one more piece of apple crisp left.
But I bet there's other cinnamon things. I just can't think of any. Maybe if any viewers... I wonder how it would be like with peaches or something.
Peaches could be good with cinnamon, I think.
Our peaches came and went so fast, we ate them all so quickly. I wanted to do grilled peaches this year. We didn't get a chance to.
Well, we ate them. We made jam.
Yeah.
We freeze-dried some. I froze some. But they started getting ripe fast, so we had to do something with them and use them. But we did eat them. We were having like 2 or 3 peaches a day.
Yeah.
I miss the peaches already. But we can have freeze-dried peaches all year long. Might take a little bit back to a rolling boil with the sugar. Okay, it hard boiled for a minute, and I did the plate test. You put a little bit on a frozen plate, stick it in the freezer for 1 minute. When you run your finger through it, if it doesn't flow back together, it's going to be setting up. So, that tastes good.
So, as
That's
a
the plate
predictor, how have you found that? Is it always
It works.
correct?
Not 100%, but most of the time. Now I forgot I need a hot pad over here to put the, sorry.
Okay.
Need this. Okay, now I'm ready to start jarring them. Now I already had my jars in the canner boiling for 10 minutes, so they're sterilized and hot and ready to go. Now I just got to get them out, fill them up with jam, and we're ready to roll. Okay.
So this is just the standard canning process now,
Yep,
right?
just standard water bath
Water
canning.
bath canning. All right, well, we'll rejoin you when you get it all
Okay.
set up.
I actually have 2 jar lifters. I started with this one because that's what I was using yesterday for salsa. It's better for pints and quarts. For these little jars, I still prefer your standard old grabber.
Now, is that the Ball brand?
I don't know. I'm not sure what brand it is, but that's the one you see most often. That's the most common one. The other one's like heavy duty, which when you're doing big quarts, especially wide mouth quarts, that other one is wonderful because sometimes those wide mouth quarts feels like you can hardly hold on to it with this thing. So.
So how many jars are you going to have here?
I think I'm only going to have 12 or 13. I'm going to be able to get it all in one canner. I was thinking I was going to need more jars than one canner could hold. This is all going to fit in one.
And this is a double batch?
Yes. I am not a judge of how much things are going to make. And the recipes, I don't know if it's me or what, but they don't always work out to what the people say they're going to work out to. So I'm just always, I'd rather have more jars ready than not enough. So I always have extra jars on hand if I need them. I don't think. So fill that one up or not? That might be ours. That's going to be ours, I think. Yum, yum, yum.
Well, it's time for the taste test.
The fun part.
Yeah.
Go ahead and load her up. Our cinnamon raisin bagels are already pre-buttered. I like mine with butter and jam.
Well, you can tell it's canning season because we always have 2 canners on the island, which I like.
Today is applesauce day. I'm still using up the imperfect blemished apples, so it's applesauce time, and I think I'll probably freeze dry another load too. So
You know, if I really minded it, I'd have to build you a canning kitchen, but I don't mind it at all.
you don't mind a bit.
No.
Gets him lots of food, so hey.
Yeah. You know, one thing I've learned is not fair to taste any jelly. Just stick a spoon in there and taste it, because it's always too much.
Too strong.
Yeah, it really has to be taste tested on toast or whatever you're going to
Because he
have
took
it on.
a little taste and he said, it's just too strong of the spices.
Yeah.
He said, I guess it's not on a bun, so let's see how you like it on a
Well, that
on
was
a
while we were
bagel.
making it. It
Yeah, it's
wasn't
true.
finished, so.
It's finished now, and it's on
All right,
in English.
here we go.
There you go.
I still get the spices first. It's really nice.
Lots of good apple flavor. Oh, I like it. And trust me, on something cinnamon raisin, whether it be a bagel, English muffin, toast, cinnamon raisin is a delicious combination with this.
I actually have the perfect description of what it tastes like.
What's it taste like?
It tastes like mulled cider. Perfectly.
Okay.
That's it.
So maybe it
Mulled
should be
cider.
called mulled cider jam? I
Now
don't
this
know.
might be completely inappropriate, but I think I'd like to taste it warm. Can you do warm jelly? Is there such a thing?
You probably could. You know, it would really good over ice cream.
Oh, warm jelly over ice cream.
That might be our dessert tonight.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, big success. I love it.
I really do like this one.
Yeah.
It's much better than the caramel apple jam. So
Yeah, I don't
give it a
remember
try. Yeah, it was too sweet. We didn't eat much of it. So thanks for watching us make our apple pie jam or our mulled cider jam. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.